Could someone somewhere make this heart look around? It's just a trick of the lights. Yeah, it's just a trick of the lights. I have to know what is real and what is illusion. Tell me how does it feel? Bottomless conclusion.
That's a good question. How does it feel beyond this confusion? In September, I went to this Buddhist house, and I listened to this monk. I assume he is about 60 years old. Definitely older than me. And the more I listen to him, the more I realize that I understand this whole thing better than he does. Not that it surprised me, because he's following a special teaching, whereas I'm doing more or less the opposite. I gather everything from everywhere because I'm open for everything. So, of course you could feel that he had a lot more life experiences, but one should not forget that somebody who is 10 may have had the experiences that somebody who is 80 will never have. And that's just always how it's going to be. So this isn't about experiences. They will come to everybody. So one thought I had, although I hardly ever think about the future, is how will I be when I'll be 30 if I follow the same path I'm on right now. I already feel like my life is over-fulfilled, as I said in my older videos. So it's just interesting. One thing that is many times a problem is when you think about life in a deeper way, so to say, when you're younger and people listen to you, they may just not take you serious because of your age and because of how you physically look, because of the assumption that older looking people will be more wise, have more wisdom, and that may as well be true many times. Well, it's still bad to do that, but then again, the ones who judge others physically are not worth talking to anyway, so it doesn't actually matter in the end.
Life's an optical illusion, like other optical illusions. Oh, beware.
The problem is that we have religions, the world religions, they do not cultivate life. Life on earth is a sinful, bad life, and everything that matters is paradise, some fictional Asian paradise. You know, and when people have some fictional Asian paradise as the ideal, how can we ever expect them to care about Mother Earth? How can we expect them to care about the coming generations or life on Mother Earth? Why would they care? They're going to heaven, they think, you know.
sun's shine is poured all around, with it being dry under leaves and such.
When you buy a board game, is the maker of the game ever there? I would assume not. Hasn't been in my case, when I used to play them as a child. It's the same thing with our world. We are able to do whatever we want with this world. Of course, usually with games, from my experience, there are rules or even laws that you have to follow. But there's also always cheaters. There's ways in cheating in games. I've yet to come to a different realization that life isn't a sort of a game. Maybe not by the popular definition you will find on sites, but you should get the idea approximately what I mean. A sort of a experiment, you could even say. Supposedly the higher Masonic teachings teach very similar things, and I'm not saying that everybody who's in power is a Mason, but the ones who are, if they see life the same way, or even in the same kind of direction, something similar, then it's no wonder how they do not care about human lives, because it means something very different to them. What has to be understood is that clearly we are dealing with very spiritual beings, and not, as they want you to believe, materialistic people who care about money and so on. It's all a huge trap to go after the wrong people, as I've already said, so I'm not even going to continue with that. It could be that they don't feel like they will have any consequences, as the people who follow religions believe, as in hell and heaven. But doesn't necessarily mean no consequences. It could mean that what they believe they're doing is even good. Maybe they feel like they're winning the game being life. Once you're in this mindset, and once you live like that for a long time, and maybe in their cases they were brought up like that, you will just not care about the same things other people do, that were brought up in a very different way, that have a very different mindset. And even I cannot, and I've tried, it's not possible for me, at least for the most part, to go back into my old mindset and care about the things I used to. It kind of just dies with progress. And I realized this a bit over a year ago, and since then I've changed even more. For example, one thing that I just do not care about are things in the system like certificates or some kind of diplomas you can get in schools or wherever you learn things that are useless usually, which is one of the reasons I don't care about them. But generally most of the stuff in the system I assumed that I would care at least a little bit about, but I came to the realization that I don't care about it at all anymore. I care about it zero. There's nothing in me that wants me to Hello? Sing still? I was almost done. What I wanted to say is that there's nothing in me that wants me to pursue this. The only exception I would make is if it was something I truly enjoyed, or something that could possibly change or even destroy the system. But I have no plans like that for now.
Empathy is the ability to experience within oneself the feelings and emotions expressed by others. It is what allows us to feel what others are feeling. It is why we are inspired by works of art, music, and poetry. Empathy allows us to experience the grandeur of life, to be truly alive, and is one of the defining characteristics of what makes us human.
When did you become first aware of this connection with nature? How old are you? What were the circumstances?
Probably about 12, 13. My parents would, force me to go to like a Christian and a Mormon church, and to go in, like a mass gathering like that, I just felt nothing spiritual at all. I thought, this does nothing for me. How can these people believe in all this stuff? For me, it always felt like I could feel something, a spiritual essence, when I was by myself. And that was also around the same time that I was getting into black metal. And I found that the feeling that I got from nature and black metal music was exactly the same thing. Even though they were so separate, I thought, how can you get like something like nature and music? It's just music. Why is it I'm feeling this same kind of entity? And that's the foundation for, creating my own music. It just went hand in hand. Whether I'm out here or whether I'm in my bedroom composing music on the guitar, and sometimes I will transcend my astral body. So I'll be sitting in my room going, playing all this dissonant kind of black metal riffs. And at the same time, I can transcend to forests. Or I'm always connected. It's a part of me, it's always there.
Jesus. Flutter now.
I've come to the conclusion that there's no actual point in questioning creation when it comes to this subject what I'm about to talk about. This summer, when it was really hot here, I was waiting for the cold to come. And of course, when it gets really cold, many times I also want the warmth back. And this is just how human beings are created. We need one to appreciate the other, and vice versa. So this is just how it is. And of course you could say that, or question why we were created like that in the first place. But that's exactly what I mean. There's no conclusion I can imagine you will actually come to. Is just how it is. And it's actually quite good that way. If we were always in a warm or cold place, and if everything was one going down the same road, always the same, it would just not be very much fun. Or something like that, if it is fun for you. Also about emotions, what I didn't say in my last video, I don't believe that there's any good or bad emotions. This is just another thing that is pointless to question. And that's my conclusion, because every emotion we feel is clearly there for a reason. So if we always felt only sad or only joyful, only felt joy, then that would again be something we cannot even imagine anyway. But again, I have to say the same with cold and warmth. I believe it's good and definitely worth feeling all emotions. But I've made it clear already. Many times, or almost always, which is the same thing anyway, I feel so alive when it's very windy, for example, and you can feel the wind on your skin, and if it's raining too, and the combination of feeling and seeing the leaves moving with the wind, and then hearing the sounds of nature, whether it's just the rain, the wind moving everything, birds, and the colors, even if it's very dark, it's still so beautiful. It's hard to express it in words, but what I'm trying to say is that many people are way too almost obsessed with the warmth and summer, when clearly all of this and these seasons were made for a reason too. There's so much beauty in it. I'm sure that many people, I'm not going to say anything about me, see this as even way more beautiful than it is in summer. It's different colors, it's different feelings and emotions. And it's, as I said, not good or bad, it just is. It's part of creation. And that's why questioning it is pointless.
As I'm sitting there with a severed head in my hand, talking to it, or looking at it, and I'm about to go crazy, literally. I'm about to go completely flywheel loose and just fall apart. I say, wow, this is insane. And then I told myself, no, it isn't. You're saying that, and that makes it not insane. I said, I'm sane, and I'm looking at a severed... I said, well, wait a minute. I see old paintings and drawings of Viking heroes talking to severed heads and taking them to parties, old enemies and leather bags, part of our heritage. And then I told myself, no, it isn't. You're saying that, and that makes it not insane.